let's move into Sunday.
And we can go into round 18 because both these games are going to be a bludge of a match.
Round 19, mate. We're already in round 18.
We got to round 19. We just skipped these last two games because they're going to be a snooze fest. Come Sunday, I hope you have a picnic to go to or a game, another sport to go watch because don't be at home. Don't stay at home because these two games are going to be a bludge fest, snooze fest because, apart from Hayes, Perham, Jake Carraz, Jake O'Reilly, Apomotti, and Josh Adakar, the team looks pretty. A bunch of them. It's a mixed basket at the moment. You got Matt Burton at 7, but is he really 7? Is he? I think more of a 6, but better at center. You've got Junior at 10, Preston in second row. Again, as I said, this team's a bit of a mixed match, and you got Kyle Flanagan who's killing it in New South Wales Cup. So why don't you bring him back into the side? And
because what we just realised is something we knew all along. Kyle Flanagan's a New South Wales Cup player. We knew it all along. He's starting to shine.
But he was good at the Roosters in that COVID period.
No, he wasn't. No, he was a scapegoat because of how poor he played in the back end of that season.
I reckon he was all right.
But nonetheless, Baxter, you know what you've done in the first 30 seconds of this episode? We're no longer allowed in Bankstown. We're going to get beat up if we go to Newcastle. We can't go to the beaches of Manly because you pissed them off by saying it's a shit game. And we can't go to Bondi now because you said you pissed them off too. So
yeah, I wouldn't want to go to Bondi. I wouldn't want to go to Bondi. I wouldn't want to go to Manly. I wouldn't want to really go to Newcastle. That's 2 hours away by driving because I don't think they have an airport anymore. And Dogs are Canterbury. I don't want to really go there either. So, look, positives. Next year you get Stephen Crichton and probably some salary cap relief with some players moving on. So, I think you're currently sitting 15th. So, write this season off and use this as a pre-season training regime for 2024.
Well, yeah. I think what benefits the Bulldogs, and it's not really a big benefit, but with where they're sitting in 15th position, obviously when the Dragons have their final bye, so do the Bulldogs. So they won't jump to last. Tigers have already had their bye, so they will sit in that 15th position. And once all the byes are up, it's up to them now if they want to avoid the spoon. But like you said, a few changes here. The back line looks okay. You've got Preston. You've got Tavita Pengai Jr. It's kind of, they're signing these big-name players where I'd rather them go, okay, maybe we don't need a Stephen Crichton. Let's go buy these 3 juniors that are going to absolutely hit the ground running. They're going to absolutely destroy it next year. Now we're going to have more depth. But, hey, they keep signing Penrith players. Eventually, they might sign their premierships and they'll get their premierships without.
Well, you know what? Well, they've signed Vibao Kikau. They've signed Stephen Crichton. They've signed one of their assistant coaches.
Matty Burton.
They've signed Matty Burton. They've signed Gus Gourlay, ex-Penrith CEO or whatever. So it's really Canterbury Bankstown Panthers 2.0. So really doesn't really matter. And I live out west, so I'm pretty happy out here.
Well, let's move into the team they are playing. It is the Newcastle Knights. A massive boost, I guess, for Kalen Ponga is that Reece Walsh is out. Will he get the call up? We're still not entirely sure. But
no.
Well, you can't just say no because
he said game 1,
yep.
And it's come out. It's come out that Billy rang him and he told Billy, no, I want to concentrate on himself and the Knights this season, and he wanted to rule himself out for this Origin period.
You think if Billy calls him and goes, "We need him," he's going to say no again?
We don't need him. The game's not on the line. Where as you said, this is a dead rubber.
Yeah,
so what? They play this week. They get the bye next week. So what's the point of you playing this week, going to Origin, get another HIA, then you're out for the rest of the season?
Because you don't play. It could be this could be your last Origin you ever get a chance to play.
No, I don't say this is his last one.
So you think he gets ahead of Reece Walsh in years to come?
I don't think he'll be the fullback. I don't say that. I don't
think.
You're going to
play him in the halves.
No, I'd probably play him at 14 if he's in the right headspace.
You're going to pick a player at 14 of Kalen Ponga with the players that Queensland had.
If he is fit, unconcussed, raring to go, I'd pick him.
Okay. For the next 3 years.
For
fit,
Origin.
Fit, raring to go, no concussions. You taking Ponga or Ben Hunt?
Oh, well, Ben Hunt's only got 2 more years left to go.
He's got 3 years in him. He wants a 3-year contract. So I'm
going to go Kalen Ponga. Look, I'm going for youth.
So next year, you will take Kalen Ponga over Ben Hunt?
If fit, healthy, and unconcussed, I'd take Kalen Ponga. I think I think everybody's forgetting a year ago, Game 3, he was man of the match, in a decider.
So that's what I'm saying. If he gets all up as a saviour, you're not going to take him?
No, I wouldn't do it. I'd probably put AJ Brimson, who's been in the squad this year, put him in it, or you could put Hammer in there. You bring Gang Gagai as his farewell match, which is in New South Wales, which is stupid. But I think we won't change the squad that much. We'll put AJ.
But if he doesn't play this game, as long as Reece Walsh stays fit, you will not see Kalen Ponga in a Queensland jersey unless there's massive injuries again.
No, I don't think massive. I think we'll test it. He could be on the bench as the 18th man for a 18th man
doesn't play. I don't think he's going to play.
Oh, I think then he's around the squad, and if there is, again, if there's.
But my thing is, you talk about if he's fit, Sam Walker could be a potential number 6 or 7 in the future.
This is the way we're going into Origin chat when we're not supposed to. Daly's apparently the rumor is Daly doesn't want to play beyond next season, so you got to start looking at maybe if Sam Walker doesn't get back in the squad of the Roosters or anywhere else and doesn't start playing some good football, which I think he can no matter what. You probably chuck Tom Dearden in there at 7 for now. And then if Sam Walker comes back, you could put him at 14 and Walshy, whatever, you bring Ponga back. But I think I like that Ponga at 14. You can bring him on. He could play a halves role if needed, if one person goes down. Could he play anywhere in that back 5? Yes. So he's pretty much a defensive back cover, and you can bring him on in the middle, rip and tear. As I said, I don't think this is the last time you see him in a Queensland jersey with massive injuries. I think, as I said, 14. I think we give the nod to Ben Hunt. Maybe next season is his last. DCE probably could be his last. So there's 2 positions. You give way, and we just have to wait to see. Maybe Walshy next year just isn't in the form, and it's Ponga's jersey again.
Well, you know what? I hope what you said does come true, because you said that he can play in anywhere at the back 5. Please, if Latrell Mitchell is fit next year, chuck him in the centres and let Latrell Mitchell run over the top of him, because.
What do you mean? Latrell's doing nothing this year. He's a scaredy cat. He's a scaredy cat. He gets named and goes, "Oh, I don't want to play this team. I'll pull out. I got a calf injury. That's what he's been doing this whole time. Oh, I got a calf. I got my calf.
Before we piss off South Sydney, Newcastle, Roosters, Manly, and the Dogs.
No, I like Newcastle. Newcastle's all right.
Can you give me a prediction on this game before we're banned from freaking YouTube in every area?
Look, I've gone the Knights 1-12, so I am not against the Newcastle. Look, I don't want to say it, but I think he's the next coach that's on the chopping block. And his name escapes me at the moment. Adam O'Brien. I think he's the next coach on the chopping block. I think we skipped over it with the Titans, Justin Holbrook. Whilst we're on the topic of coach chopping and sacking, I think it was ruthless from the Titans. I think it's a good thing. in the bottom 8, we talk about teams who have a weakness, and I think their weakness is defense, and they leak points. Titans, and they know it, and they just can't seem to fix it. And Holbrook's been there for 4 years, and it's the same. It's the same. It's the same person barking, but no one's listening. So, and it needs to change. Apparently, there were some KPIs that he needed to meet at certain stages this year that he didn't meet. So, regardless of if you're coming off a win, 2 wins, 3 wins, 4 losses, whatever, if you're not meeting, you're not meeting them. And in comes an interim coach and gets the win over the Broncos. But I think, again, there's a club that were a basket case, but now is starting on the mend, and now they're looking like they could be really pushing that 8 again next year with good old Desi man with the beautiful long luscious hair.
Well, I mean, I definitely do agree with you. I think it was quite brutal in the fashion it did happen, but I think we all saw it coming. The writing was on the wall. They weren't defending well, and it has come out that he was apparently given 6 weeks, I believe it was, to save his job this year. And then he obviously didn't perform. They gave him a second chance, and they lost 3 or 4 on the bounce. So they said, you know what, enough's enough. You're out the door. So if all those reports are true, then I've got no issue.
Apparently, this is the big one for me that I heard, and this is coming from not a player, but like a friend of a player from the Gold Coast Titans, is that apparently Holbrook had to be in the 8 before Game 2 of State of Origin. That was the big one. You had to be in the 8 come Game 2, and they weren't. And ninth. People say ninth, but that's the standard. Then you go, oh well, he's just 1 outside. Well, what's the points difference? Well, you could be 10 outside the 8, 10 points away from outside the 8. You're ninth. Rules are rules.
I'm thinking the more I think of it, maybe that was the one I heard, because I think he then lost 2 on the bounce post Origin, or during Origin and then
it was like game before Game 2, he had to be in the 8, and they weren't, and comes off a win, didn't get him into the 8, and he got sacked. Look, he's a good guy. I think he's a good an attacking coach for more of a New South Wales, Queensland Cup style figure, because I think he can go back to that level and really sharpen his tools and come back into the NRL with whatever club wants him for the right amount of money, and he can really slay his way through the NRL.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's definitely a chance where they do that. Now, obviously, you went Newcastle.
Yeah, I'm going Newey 1-12.
I'm going to go.
Bad the best looking career form. Gamble.
I'm going to go Newcastle 13 plus Dominic Young double. I'm going to go Dominic Young.
Wonder why. Why.
You know what? It's not even that, because I sit here and I go, do I think he's going to play this well for the Roosters? Well, I think he's in a system here that allows him to play freely. And
imagine if
let's be completely honest, he's probably one of the star players here. So let's see how he goes.
Imagine if he went to the Roosters and just does shit.
I mean, there's a big chance it's going to happen. Do you want me to name a few players? You got Brandon Smith to name the first one, but
no, I think he's had a bit of an injury cloud.
Yeah, but when he wasn't injured, he was playing the first 3-4 games where he wasn't injured. He played terrible.
And again, it's just him coming from a system in Melbourne that.
No, but that's what I'm saying. He's coming from a system where he didn't have to be one of the star players. He's coming from a system where he had Munster, he had Hughes.
Well, not even. No, I wasn't going to say that. I was going to say that he wants to play 9. He wasn't playing 9. He was playing this start 9, shift to 13 type of thing. So he lost his craft as this great hooker that we all come to love when Harry was at the Tigers. Now that Harry has really owned his apprenticeship and come back, he's really made Brandon look like a fool. And I said it privately. You give another off season under Trent, and I think Brandon Smith becomes this monster 9 that just becomes this cookie type player who becomes this Harry Grant. He's just soaks up all the positivity, all the positive things about other hookers, and just really owns that position. And he becomes like a lethal, deadly force in that pack at the Roosters. That's what I've said privately, and now I've said it here publicly. But that's just everything goes well, especially with re-signing of J. Hargraves, letting go of Matt Lodge, which is understandable. Not playing some good football, but really needed him for some cover. Is what it is. But
I mean, we'll talk about that obviously a bit more when we do get to the Roosters back. But like you said, there is, I guess, that effort. We do have players here that are playing brilliant. They're playing in a system. It all turned around when Kalen Ponga went back to fullback. They started to look a lot better as a team. And I feel sorry for Lachlan Miller.
Did I not say that when he came back into the squad at 6, that him at 6 the team looked bad compared to with him not at 6?
Well, I don't disagree with that, but I think that 6 role was a lot to protect his head. Like he's
for
in
sure.
tackles.
But when you're playing frontline defense, it's a lot different. You're gonna cop a lot of more hits. You can't just drop back and absorb. You're probably gonna kick return. You're probably gonna get hit once. You probably tackle 3. You're gonna get hit again.
Once left. He's only got one bad once left.
Yeah, well, it is what it is. But yeah, as you said, poor Lachie Miller has to sit on the sidelines because of it.
Well, 100%. But like we said, we've both gone Newcastle. You've gone 1 to 12. I've gone 13